Well, I am super excited about sharing some book mail today. I don't know if anybody else is going to be here, but I decided just that I had a bunch of book mail piled up, and I thought it would be a good time to share. Also, a couple of the books coming out this spring and summer are so fantastic. So, one thing you might be interested in knowing is that what happens is the publishers send me the catalog. They email me a catalog and I look through and I look at the books that I think what I'm looking for is books that I think will resonate with gifted children in particular, because that's my wheelhouse. And so I look through the catalog and I order the books. And so I already know something about them before I get them. And then after I submit that order, the publisher sends me the books for free. And then in exchange for my honest review, they don't follow up with me in any way. So there's no like quid pro quo. And all it really does is keep that UPS driver very familiar with my address. So here is, let's get into it. I wish you could see this big stack I have here. So now all these books were coming out in the spring and summer catalog. Most of them are already on sale. There may be a few of them that are going on sale a little later this month, but most of them are already on sale. So the first one I've got is one that this genre is so important for our gifted kids, which is nonfiction that isn't dry. So this book is called Fantastic Flora, the World's Biggest, Baddest, and Smelliest Plants. And it's actually fairly thick. This isn't a picture book. However, it is filled with loads and loads of pictures. And so that's kind of a nice thing. So it's got like the plant. This chapter is the sandbox tree. It's a plant with a bang. It's like a dynamite plant, literally. And I love the layout of the book. So even young readers, because of the book design and layout, even young readers can maintain interest. It's a very casual tone, very readable. I think this would be a perfect book for especially an elementary teacher who is looking for some books to add that are science. Look at these gorgeous illustrations. Who illustrated this? Zoe Ingram. Zoe, nice. And I love the text by Ann Stotts. There's something about nonfiction that is approachable and readable that I really like, because a lot of gifted kids are drawn to it. So Fantastic Flora, I really like it. This one I'm going to pass along. Sometimes people ask me, like, what do you do with all these books that come in? And for the most part, I give them away. Occasionally I will keep them if I feel like it's something that one of my grandchildren might like. I have a little free library in my yard. And so there are a number of books out in my little free library. I also have, at Christmas, I go and read to the children at my grandchildren's school and in a grade level, and I let every child pick a book to take home. So that's where the books go. So Fantastic Flora, that was a great one. The next one is this is a series called Lone Wolf. I'm so excited about this because I think there's so much pressure on gifted kids to always make friends. How do I help my gifted kid find friends? Why is this kid such a loner? And a lot of times teachers will complain that gifted kids' preferred group size is 1, which is a whole other story about why that often is. But this book is like the redemption. It's like the revenge of the loner. So this is a lone, right? He just likes to be alone, and there's nothing wrong with him. He does not have antisocial personality disorder. You may have just seen the tail of my dog as he walked away. I guess he's not interested in the lone wolf. But this series of books normalizes the idea that not everybody wants to hang out with people, that some people are perfectly happy with just themselves for company. In this volume of it, he goes to the library, and sadly, other kids are there. So how that will ruin your time. Even though it's thicker, it's not really designed like a picture book. It's quite small. But even though that's the case, the text on it is very readable. The font is large. There's lots of pictures and lots of white space. It's divided into chapters, so technically it's a chapter book, but it really is almost more of a picture book. You could easily read it in one sitting. So Lone Wolf Goes to the Library is a new one, the newest one in this Lone Wolf series. So if you know any lone wolves, that would be a good one for you. Next, let's see what's next. This one went on sale just 2 days ago, June 3rd. Oh, this book. Okay. The Memory Cake. The Memory Cake. I've been waiting for this book. So this book is about a little girl who goes to visit her grandmother in Malta. And I think a lot of times when we're looking for diverse books, when we're looking for books that represent different cultures for our students, we find that they represent different cultures, but they're always almost the same different cultures. And so I'm really excited about this. So if you're unfamiliar with Malta, it is an island that is, I believe, technically part of Italy, perhaps, but it's in the Mediterranean, and it's a rocky island, Spain, Italy, right in there. And it is, although somebody who's lived there would probably laugh at me for saying, Spain, Italy, but that's where it is, in the Mediterranean. And I have a friend who lived there, so I was very interested in it. It goes through so the grandmother has lived through World War II, and she talks about some of those experiences and how the people got through them. And at the end of the book, there's a discussion of this. There's information about it. There's even a glossary. So I feel like this would be a fantastic book for a classroom read, because whenever there's a glossary, now you can build vocabulary. Whenever there's background information, now you can have this jump from fiction to nonfiction, which is so powerful. I think too often we separate that and we're like, oh, is it fiction or nonfiction? Yes, right? So one of my very favorite Christmas books does that too. And then, of course, the recipe for this cake is at the end of the book. And how fun for a teacher and to make the cake and bring it and let the kids each have a little bite. But the memory cake, very beautiful. Also some information. The nonfiction in the back is information about what it was like in Malta during the war. And you see the way that memory is handled. So it's color when it's the present time, and then kind of muted colors as if they'd been left to fade in the sun during the wartime. This book goes on sale June 17th. The UPS label is covered over, so I can't see it. Okay, so this book is, I don't know if it's Elena or Elena. I have a friend who has a daughter with her name is spelled this way, and it is Elena. So I will say Elena in honor of Elena, who I know. So this is a book about an elephant named Elena. This is a series. There is Elena Rides, and they are available in English and in Spanish. So that's kind of cool that you can have the same book in two languages. It's not one where it's like English on one side and Spanish on the other. There's actually a separate book that is in Spanish for both of them. The binding reminds me of like a Dr. Seuss, like One Fish, Two Fish, kind of that hard, but there's no dust jacket. It's got some onomatopoeia, which is nice. That's a nice way to introduce kids to it. And it's a fairly simple story. I don't know that I absolutely love the story, but if you're looking for simple text in a sturdy binding that you can get in both English and Spanish, check it out. Next, 7, A Most Remarkable Pigeon. I am so excited about this book. This one I'd opened before, which is why I didn't have to pull it out of the box. This is a pigeon who has a very strong sense of smell, and it causes him trouble to be different. And then one day, the flock of pigeons can't find their way home, and they use Seven's incredible ability to help them. I just feel like it's such a beautiful message about how sometimes your weaknesses can be your greatest strength. The illustrations are delightful. They give me these cottage core like springtime in Paris vibes. I absolutely love the illustrations of this. If you're looking for a beautiful book with a beautiful message, this is a great one. This is a truly wonderful book. And she said, this is what the author says about it. I wrote 7 thinking about how those who are different are so often required to change by the end of the story. I asked myself, wouldn't it be great to have more books where different ones stay different, and that's okay? Don't you love that? This is a big recommendation from me. 7, A Most Remarkable Pigeon. This is one that is like a keeper. This is a great book. All right, next. Got a couple more. Oh, Kate DiCamillo, Orris and Timble, Lost and Found. This is another one that is a series. And Kate DiCamillo is, she's most famous for like Tales of Despereaux and some other books. She is probably one of the, she's one of the greatest living children's authors. She has been the Young Readers Ambassador. I think that's the correct title. I should know that title, for the Library of Congress. And she's a delightful human. And she's written a lot of books. You will know her books. I love this book. In an old abandoned barn, there lived a rat named Orris. And it is a chapter book. It is a chapter book. You see, it's divided into chapters, but again, not a difficult read, with lots of illustrations, more advanced than Elena, but not along the lines of like the Magic Tree House. I'm a huge fan of this. I've talked about it in previous videos. This type of book where it's a thicker book, but it's approachable for a young reader who's bridging out and into more difficult text, but still needs a lot of images to help with context clues. And the illustrations on this are absolutely beautiful. They're done by an illustrator named Carmen Mock, and they are gorgeous. So I'm a big fan. Okay, National Ambassador for Young People's Literature. That's what it's called. And she's won the Newbery twice. Fun fact about the Newbery, almost everybody misspells it. It only has 1 R. Okay, this one is called The Magician Next Door. And this is just a full-on chapter book. Full-on chapter book. Very little illustration. There is some kind of along the lines of Emily Winsnap, where you're going to get some illustration. I absolutely love this genre as well, some illustrations. And this one is like, I think before kids are ready for Harry Potter, right? Before they're ready. So it's about a 10-year-old girl named Callie who is homesick. And she used to live in London, and now she has to live in Northern Ireland, and how she gets through that homesickness. So really, really beautiful premise and a lovely book. So highly recommend The Magician Next Door. Also, you can see by the gold here, beautifully designed. All right. Next, these go on sale June 10th. These two, they go on sale June 10th, which is my husband's birthday. So happy birthday, Steve. A couple great books being released on your birthday. The first one is Orphaline by Caitlin Aronson. And this is such a sweet book. It's they discover a baby mermaid on the beach. This little girl named Cora discovers a baby mermaid on the beach. And as you do when you discover a baby mermaid on the beach, you want to keep the baby mermaid. But the problem is that Cora realizes that just as she found the baby mermaid, somebody else has lost a baby mermaid, and that the baby mermaid needs to go back home to its mommy mermaid. And it is just a sweet little magical story. There's the picture where the baby mermaid goes back home. It's such a beautiful way to teach children that sometimes you find things that don't belong to you and you need to give them back, and that can be hard. It's just precious. It's just a precious book. Orphaline, Caitlin Aronson, illustrated by Del Fumerick, I think is how you pronounce the name. I reserve the right to butcher people's names. Next, coming out on June 10th, Boar the Hedgehog by David Elliott, illustrated by Eugene Yelchin. And I love this. It is about an unlikely friendship. So Boar is grumpy and Hedgehog is a know-it-all. Can they ever be friends? And I also love this idea that you don't have to be perfect to have a friend, and that you can make friends even if you have annoying habits, which I should know because I have lots of annoying habits and also lots of wonderful friends. So Hedgehog thinks he's being helpful, but to Boar, he's a pesky busybody. I will say, this is not my illustration style. I appreciate them. I can tell that it's well done. It's just not my preferred style. There's something about this that it isn't my jam, but it might be yours. And I love the idea of an unlikely friendship. So Boar and Hedgehog, can they ever be friends? Inquiring minds want to know. You probably want to know, how many books do you have there, Lisa? Well, they just keep coming. This one went on sale May 6th, so it is readily available. And this is the newest Emily Winsnap. So Emily Winsnap is a mermaid, and it is Emily Winsnap and the Crystal Caves. These books are beautifully designed. I have already reviewed like the 20th anniversary beautiful edition I got of Emily Winsnap. There are very few illustrations. I'm flipping to try to find one. They're really mostly just at the chapter divisions. So this is a full chapter book. It is 232 pages long. So we're getting older. And it's just another adventure with Emily and her friends, and just a perfect summer read. Just a perfect summer read for that young reader in your life. This is the 10th book in the series. And I've done other videos on book series for kids that I love. And I think this is a great series to add. The Emily Winsnap series is fantastic. If you go to, and I have the link to it in the description, if you go to my Amazon storefront thing, you'll see where I have a section of book series. And I'll mention something about that. Like, the reason that I have that Amazon storefront is that Amazon lets me curate the books there, and they don't charge me anything. And it's very easy for me to catalog the books and add the books to the different categories and keep them there so that it's easy for people to find. And nowhere else is it easy to do that. And you don't have to buy the book on Amazon. You can go look at the list and go get the book at your library or Thrift Books or anywhere you like to buy books, your favorite independent bookseller. But when people do order the books from there, then Amazon does give me, I mean, really, it's like a couple of cents. And then all of the money that comes in through that, and it's about $800 or $900 a year. I use it to fulfill teachers' Amazon wish lists. So I don't keep any of that money. All right. Next. The Terrakeet. The Terrakeet by Jo Vanderborg. First of all, if you have a van in your name, I'm a fan, right? So The Terrakeet is a book about, like, oh, it's so cute. That's the Terrakeet. So there is the family. This is a family. Sorry, this is a book about a family. This is the family. They're the Finlocks. They live by this sea, and they're just trying to mind their own business. But they know that there is a very scary animal called the Terrakeet that lives there, and they're just hoping they don't run into him. But I think, as you can guess, they do run into him. One of the things I love about this book is made up words. So I think that's one of the things that gifted kids love, is playing with words. The illustrations, who illustrated this? Joe Beasley. That's funny. The author and the illustrator both first named Joe. Probably named by their parents after Joe March in Little Women. So here, there's an example of the made up word, frimbulitic. Frimbulitic. I love that. You could have students make up words. The illustrations are delightful. I really, really like them. Oh, speaking of, seriously, no lie, UPS just dropped off another book at my door just now. The guy just walked up with a book. Hey, Steve, can you go bring me that book? I'll open it right on air. That is so crazy. All right. I heard him because he's talking on the phone when he walks up to the door. All right. The next book is called Ant Party by Ross Montgomery, illustrated by Sarah Warburton. And this is adorable, super brightly colored, brightly illustrated book. It is Andy's birthday, Andy the Ant. Thank you so much. This is a book that's not going to go on sale until June 24th.
Malta's an independent country.
Malta, I know. I was just saying by where it was.
Oh, where it was. Okay.
Yeah. And my husband's telling me Malta is an independent country. Yes, but it's like near there because our friends who live there, they flew into Rome and then would fly from Rome over to Malta. Everybody knows about Malta because of Maltese dogs, right? But look at these. I mean, it's just so fabulous. Sarah Warburton's illustrations are, it's just crazy. There's like all these different kinds of ants, army ants and worker ants, and they all get together. Look at that conga line of the ants. This is just a happy, feel-good book. I think that, oh, I didn't mean to hit my mic. Sorry about that. It's a really good book for how, even if you feel powerless and small, if you all get together, you can do something great. So I really like that. Ant Party, super happy, fun book, perfect for summer. Look at this stack. I have a big stack. All right, let's just open this one right now. I was just complaining to my husband a little bit ago that these books are so hard. These packages are so hard to open. And now I'm going to prove it to you right here. It's why I cut them ahead of time, usually, before I do a stream of them, because they're so hard to open. I don't know why they do them this way, but they're not easy. All right, again, this book doesn't go on sale until June 24th. Which one is it? Oh, Barker's Doghouse. So this is another one. I just love this genre. This like middle grade books with illustrations. This one I was interested in because the protagonist is a boy. We know we have an issue with girls. Oh, look at that. The pages weren't even fully cut. Girls will read books with male protagonists, and boys are more reluctant to read books with female protagonists. We need to stop that, actually. And I have an article on my website about how to get boys to read books with girl protagonists. The last thing we need is sexist readers, right? But this book is about a boy with a dog, and I think it would make a really good partner read. You know how I love a book flight, to have a slightly older kid read The Dog on Barkham Street, and this one, Barker's Doghouse, and the dogs are let's see, I'm looking to see. Oh, so it's a series, but I don't think the other books are out yet. The next one is going to be called Leave It. And I think this is a sweet one. It says 10-year-old Geo Barker is stuck in a new town and a new school, kind of like the other book we had about the little girl who misses London and is in Northern Ireland. It's so his mom can start her own doggy daycare. So I really liked that idea that the mom was starting a business, and that sometimes kids have to make sacrifices in the family. Like, it's not, the family doesn't revolve around the children. The children are part of a family ecosystem. So Barker's Doghouse, fetch, and then keep an eye out for Barker's Doghouse, Leave It. And I think this is going to be a popular series. I hope that in other people's, they've actually cut the pages, because I don't know if you could see this, but all my pages are stuck together. It's like in Great Gatsby when all of the books are up there and the pages aren't even cut because he doesn't read them. Okay, this book went on sale May 13th. And let me tell you, this is one of my top 3 or 4 of this whole stack. This book, At the Window by Hope Lynn, illustrated by Quinn Lang. This book is magic. So this book is about a little girl who walks her dog down the street. The illustrations are straight fire. I love these illustrations. And she sees a neighbor in a window, and the neighbor is writing in the window, and they strike up a conversation, and the neighbor's window doesn't have any curtains. And So she can see, even at night, she can see in because there's no curtains. And so she looks through. And I think that's what caught me on this book, because that's my favorite thing to do, is to walk the neighborhood at night. And if somebody has their lights on and their curtains are open, it just feels so hygge, so cozy to look in and see into a house. It's almost like looking into a dollhouse. And so what happens though is one day her friend is gone, and then that night the windows are dark, and she's very, very sad. Like it's a sadness to her. She sees the window, but there's nothing going on. And then someone new moves in the house, and she has to get a new perspective. She has to look at the home from her house and realize that someone new will live there. And it is just a precious, precious, delightful book. Absolutely love this book. This one is going nowhere. I said earlier in the video that I give them the books away. That book is going to live in my house. I love that book. Okay. Oh, this is another one that's not going anywhere. In the World of Whales. So if you don't know already, my favorite animal is the whale, particularly the blue whale, but I'll take any kind of whale I can get. And this book is by Michelle Cusolito and illustrated by Jessica Lannon, and who is a Cybert honoree or Sibert, not sure. And this is a book beautifully illustrated and beautifully designed. I love it when there's like the text is kind of mimicking, the design of the text is mimicking what's going on. It's written in prose, but it's like a poetic format. The form of it is beautiful. It's quite lyrical, and it's got this super cool fold out in the middle. So it's showing these people diving with the whales. And that's really what it's about. Like people going and joining in the world of the whales to take pictures of the whales, these free divers. So free divers do not wear tanks. They're just holding their breath. There's information in the back about it. Look at that. I mean, this is a cool book. This is a very cool book. One of the things I really like is that in the back, there's information for learning more. There's websites, there's information, and you can really learn about what is going on in the world of the whales. So I highly recommend this. So it's a picture book that is essentially nonfiction. So really nice, In the World of the Whales. So 2 winners right in a row. Okay, this book went on sale May 6th, so it is out. This book is called Hurricane. This to me, and it's written by Jason Shin, who was a Caldecott winner. So Caldecott's for illustration. Newbery for text, Caldecott illustration. There's lots more prizes for books, but those are the 2 best known. So I wanted this book. The reason I ordered this book is because I live in Texas, and even though I live in North Texas where we don't get hurricanes, I have been to Galveston many times where a very large hurricane hit and where you can still see the effects of it and where there's a museum to it and stuff. And a lot of children in our country live in areas where there are hurricanes all the way up the eastern seaboard, all across the Gulf Coast, all of this. And this book does a wonderful job of explaining not only like, okay, so this book is set in North Carolina and there's even maps. So I absolutely love this. So it's about how there's a beautiful day, but the meteorologists are tracking a hurricane, and a hurricane is going to hit. And so there are hurricane hunters who are out looking to see and keep track and try to let people know what's going on. And then it talks about how people have to prepare, how they have to help their neighbors, and how they have to have generators and fill up with gas. And now the children even have to clean up their yards so stuff doesn't blow away. They're watching the tracking of the storm as it heads towards them. And then what they do to cars and to boats. It's such a good book that breaks down, like, what are we going to do? Throughout the book, it talks about as the days go by, like, this is what happened on Saturday. This is what happened on Sunday. And then it will sometimes give you definitions, like, what is a hurricane warning? And it will tell you. It is so well done. And then the hurricane hits. And then now it's calm. And then it talks about how the neighbors, like but then the storm comes back, like it's calm, but then the storm comes back, that eye of the storm. And then once the storm is over, it shows the damage, and then it shows the people coming. Oops, I froze. It shows the damage, but then it shows the people coming together. I absolutely love this book. This book is not only beautifully done, but so needed. So shout out to Jason Chin. This book is needed. If you live anywhere where hurricanes come, then this would be a must-have book. Absolutely love it. All right, last package. Can you believe it? How long has it taken? Half an hour to get through the book. All right. Oh, I've been excited about this one. This one went on sale May 27th, so it's been out just a little bit. This is Ross Montgomery, who also wrote, hold on, I have another Ross Montgomery in this stack. Hold on, I got to go through the stack. Ant Party. That's weird. Hold on, is it the same Ross Montgomery? Started writing stories as a teenager. Let's see if it says that. Started writing stories. Yes, it's the same guy. It's the same guy. That's very interesting that he has a brand new picture book out and a brand new chapter book out. I Am Rebel, a dog story. And this is going to be, I'm calling it now. This is going to be like one that of the dog books, like Old Yeller, like Shiloh, like hopefully, not quite that sad, but it's a quest novel, which I absolutely love when there's a boy and his dog quest novel. And it is, there's like, so the boy has to help defeat the evil king and the dog goes with him. It's definitely a lengthy chapter book. Let me look at how many pages it is. 231 pages. It's told in the first person from the boy's point of view. The text is narrow. This is a middle grade reader, maybe even as like 7th grade. There are very few illustrations. Occasionally, I saw a couple in here. Yeah. Occasionally get something like this, but that's all. This is not an illustrated book, but a truly wonderful story. I will not at all be surprised if it wins an award. It's an adventure. Oh, hi, Crystal. Okay, you know what's funny? So Crystal's in here and she, like, I'm obsessed with Crystal's bookish life. She's someone I follow. I'm actually on her Patreon. It's the only Patreon I belong to because I am so in love with her. If you are a reader, you should 100% subscribe to her channel because she does great, honest reviews. And also on Instagram, follow her because she always puts posts up that are like a week in my bookish life. And I am obsessed. So sweet of you to stop by, Crystal. So I Am Rebel is a fantastic book if you have a kid who loves dogs, if you like that kind of adventure story, kind of a Bildungsroman, if you are looking for something that's maybe not got the sadness of a Shiloh or an Old Yeller or Where the Red Fern Grows, then I think this is your book. And even just this cover is a delight. So congrats, Ross Montgomery, for 2 books out this spring. So I hope that you have found a book or 2 that interests you for this spring. I think it's a wonderful catalog and I'm very much looking forward to reading these all cover to cover, the ones that I have not already read. So thank you for joining me and keep reading.